Alright, so you want to know how to prepare for success in life. Well, you're in luck because in this video, I'm going to break down a few ways I believe I'm currently preparing for the next steps of my life, which I believe will be very successful and fruitful. So first things first, I believe the first thing you need to do when you expect your life to go well, as I currently do, is try to increase your capacity. And what do I mean by this? Well, I mean increase your capacity for things to go well. So often in life, people can actually get what they're working towards. It's just that when all their hard work finally comes to pay off, they're not actually ready for the blessing that God has given them. So what I like to do is increase my capacity. So for example, before I got my job at the city, I remember thinking, okay, this will be my first proper job. You know, I've worked a few of those odd jobs during college, and you're there thinking, okay, yeah, I'm only getting paid a little bit, so you're not too excited. But like when I was getting my first proper job and working in the city of London, I remember opening a few more bank accounts because I was expecting to have a bit more money than I was used to managing. So I tried to increase my capacity and try and have more bank accounts so I could manage my money slightly better, so I could have better budgeting and things of that sort. In terms of where I currently am, increasing my capacity, I believe that means also when it comes to a business, having multiple business bank accounts, and not only that, but also increasing my ability to try and onboard new clients, and also the systems at hand which I have, trying to increase their capacity so they can deal with more volume and they can deal with more people using them, and making sure that everything works robustly. And also by going down this process of trying to increase your capacity when you expect things to go well, you're also gonna go ahead and make sure that you actually have the capacity for when things do go well. So even if it takes a bit longer than you expect, as I currently am still waiting for my first client, but I generally do believe it's coming a bit closer each week I upload or each day I wait, I will at least be ready for that first client, and I'll have the capacity to provide that first client with what is genuinely what I believe is the best service I could provide them. And if I wasn't going to increase my capacity, then what could happen is I potentially get my first client, and then I go on to try and then increase it once I have the first client. And because I'm now slowing down the process of serving my first client, that would actually make things worse, and I could actually miss out on getting my first client. So I just want to remind people that when you think things are going well in your life, when you've been working hard for years and you know that God's about to bless you, get ready to increase your capacity, because He will. And I actually have a Bible quote for this. It's Isaiah 54 verse 2, which talks about enlarging the place of your tent and let the curtains of your habitation be stretched out. Do not hold back, lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. So what I believe God is trying to say here is the fact that when you expect things to be going well, you generally just need to try and expand and get ready for increasing your cup, so that when God finally pours the blessings into your cup, you can actually hold it. Because the worst thing you wouldn't be doing is having such a small cup that when God blesses you, He can only give you a drop of the blessing because you don't have the capacity to deal with more. So if you are expecting success to come in your life in the near future, first things you've got to do is get ready to increase your capacity. Okay, and the second thing you want to do is then also increase your standards. Now, increasing your standards might sound like a bit of a weird one here, but stick with me. So what do I mean by increase your standards? To increase your standards means increase what you'll tolerate from yourself, because if you're expecting God to bless you in your life, then your life is about to get better. Or if you expect to be successful, your life is about to get better. And you have to increase your standards for yourself so that you can maintain that success. Because the worst thing you want to happen is that you get a little bit of success, you get a bit comfortable, and then you start to slack off, and then you just get comfortable again. You fall back into your comfort zone. You start doing things you know you shouldn't do, but you're trying to reward yourself for the small amount of success you've got, and then you fall back down and you end up having to then climb the ladder to try and get back to where you were as you wish. And I've even experienced this. Admittedly, in my previous year of university, I was a bit comfortable. You know, some days where I didn't feel like going to lectures, I didn't go to them, and I would just order in takeaway, chill, watch some Netflix, watch some YouTube, and all sorts of things like that, which generally just wasn't good, and I knew it wasn't good, but I had a little bit of money to my name, so I thought, let me be a bit comfortable, let me enjoy the fruits of my labor, and it didn't turn out well. But now in this season where I've had to go all the way back to being broke, I've now increased my standards. So the things that I won't accept for myself, like I won't accept for myself trying to eat 3 takeaways in a day like I previously did when I was at university, and things of that nature. Like, I'm increasing the standards that I'll set for myself, and by extension this means that I'll then increase the standards that my clients will then receive from the service that I'm providing. Because as long as my standards are high for myself, it means all the work that I do will be to a high standard, and then when God finally does bless me and I get the success that I've been working towards, the standards that I've set will ensure that when clients come, they are actually impressed with the work that I've done, so that by extension I can then retain the success and stay successful, and God willing just continue to get to success from success in that way. And yeah, again, I got another Bible quote for this one. This one's about more casting the mote out of your own eye before you try to judge that of others. And I know I haven't got it word for word there, or even the chapter, the book and the verse, but it's just more in terms of before you try and like point out what's wrong in other people's stuff, or like call other people out for the stuff that they're doing, just sort of fix yourself first. Fix your standards. Get your standards to a point where they're good and everybody knows they're good, so that at that point, if you want to judge, which I'm not saying you should, but if you're going to judge people, at least you can have somebody else vouch for you that, okay, yes, this person is objectively better than the person they're judging. So make sure your standards are high, so that even if people try to call you out for them, they're still high. And even if they do call you out, they're so high that the insults don't really matter. And then the next inevitable one is to increase your goals, because by nature, if you're successful, then it likely means you've hit a target of some sort. And if you hit that target, what you don't want to do is slip back into comfort, as I was just saying. What you actually want to do is try and set the next goal, so you still have something to keep working towards, and so that you never feel like you've accomplished everything you want and you fall back down the rabbit hole of being comfortable and not really striving for that which you want to achieve. So the key reason why you need to keep increasing your goals as you hit them is so that you always have something to aim for. So the day you hit your first goal, fair enough, you can give yourself a small celebration, or however satisfied you are, but don't get lost in the celebration. Make sure to set that next goal, then maybe take the time, do what you need to do, and then when you get up the next day or the next weekend or the next week or whatever, then you go after that new goal that you set for yourself. Because by doing this, you're keeping yourself almost in the chase, and you're allowing yourself to feel the positive action towards a goal that you've set. Because the worst thing is, when you wake up and you don't know what you're going to do for the day, then you're going to waste time scrolling on your phone. You're just going to be lingering. You might even go back into some of your bad habits, which you know are bad for you, but just because you have nothing else to do, you're going to self-sabotage. And I mean, there's a perfect Bible quote for this one yet again, which I believe is that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if you have nothing to do, the enemy will try to get you. Sometimes the enemy comes from within, which is sad, but we're all humans. We all do some of the similar bad things which we know are bad for us. And yeah, that's just why it's so important when you're expecting your goals to go well. Obviously, make sure you hit them, you tick off all the boxes for what you want in your life, and then set that bar higher, so that you always have something to aim towards, and that you know where you need to get to, and you know what you need to do to get there. Yeah, I wanted to keep this one fairly short, just coming off the back of a very successful week last week at the Digital Asset Summit, and I just wanted to share some value with you guys, because I believe this is what I'm going to be going through in the next few weeks to months of my life. So I'm preparing for increase, preparing for success. I want some of you guys to go through that feelings too, maybe not now, but when you eventually start working towards your goals, or you set goals and you know what you want to go for, and you know that which you're seeking. So yeah, just hope this video could be a nice and brief one for you guys. You can get some value from it. And also, if you wanted to know like what the mentality shifts I needed to do to get to the position where I am, where I'm confident enough to actually go after that which I'm seeking, then I'll leave that at the top line of my description. So the link will be in my description. It'll be that top video. And without any further ado, I know I'll be listening to Dave's new album this weekend, but I hope you lot have a good one.